Lord help and guide us to make the best possible decisions we can make for the city and citizens of Boonville. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Steve. Roll call.
Young,
Here.
Meadows,
Here.
Bozarth,
Here.
Hurt,
Here.
Carter,
Here.
Venable,
Here.
Dorman, Stock.
Here. We have a super quorum, so that's good. Welcome, everybody. We move on to hearing of citizens' comments, and Christie, if you'll just hold for a minute and see if anybody's got comments. If you have comments, please come on up to the podium, identify yourself and the ward in which you live, and if you're not going to comment, then don't come up there. All right, Christie, it's all yours. It's good to see you.
Be nice to see you all too. I'm Christy Linhart. I'm a Cooper County Assessor, and I want to get the word out about reassessment. First, though, we're going to start off with a little funny here. This is your house as seen by yourself. This is your house as seen by your buyer. This is your house as seen by your lender. This is your house as seen by your appraiser. And this is your house as seen by your assessor.
By your what?
Your assessor.
Oh, your assessor.
All right, why reassessment? It's to equalize assessment values across the county and adjust assessment values to current market. Reassessment was last performed prior to 2008, and it's supposed to be done every odd year. When reassessment is not done, then your values become unfair and unequitable across the county. Political subdivisions lose money. Appraised values cannot be calculated to current market. Data becomes outdated. And the State Tax Commission can withhold my funding, which they have done this time. I've gotten part of it. They're still withholding somewhere between $7,000 to $10,000 that till I can prove that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. If that money is $35,000 in my budget, so when they withhold that money, I have to get the money out of general revenue, and that puts a big strain on general revenue for the county. The Missouri State Tax Commission, they pretty much oversee what all the assessors do across the state. They manage the state funding back to the counties, and they oversee that the counties are following the state statutes. One of those statutes mandates that the assessor be in compliance with market value. The State Tax Commission mandates that market value be 90 to 110%. Currently, Cooper County is at 79%. There's 4 studies that the State Tax Commission does to get these figures. It's sales ratio study, index study, land analysis, and depreciation. So I send out questionnaires. If you buy or sell a home, I send out a questionnaire to both the buyer and the seller, and then I also send out a questionnaire to anybody who's built a new house in the last year. Those questionnaires, a lot of people don't want to send them back. If you talk to anybody that does get one, it doesn't single anybody out for a raise in taxes, but what it does do is help the State Tax Commission in these studies. If I don't get sales and information back from Cooper County, we go to surrounding counties. We can even go to surrounding states. I just don't want to see our information based on Kansas City and St. Louis, because sometimes that's where we have to go to get information. It's important to me that the citizens of Cooper County understand what has occurred historically and what the plan is to fix it. I'll go over this once again. Reassessment has not been done since prior to 2008, and when that happens, we have unfair and unequitable values, political subdivisions lose money, and the State Tax Commission withholds my funds. My plan to fix it, I'm going to try to bring that 79% up to the lower 90th percentile, and that will make the State Tax Commission happy. I'm going to start out with land, because that's the lesser of the two evils. When I say land, I mean home sites, lots, and small acreage. So residential, basically. Soil class, farmland will not be touched. That is statutorily mandated the way it is. 2021, we'll see how much the land brought me up in percent. If it doesn't bring me up to that lower 90th percentile, then I'll start on buildings, and that'll be every building, all buildings, commercial, residential, and ag buildings. And then I'll just wait in 2023 to see what I need to do in 2023. But once I get this up where it should be, if reassessment is done a little bit every odd year, this impact should never have to happen again. And I'm being on the conservative side of values. So just a little about the reassessment process. What we do, we use a honeycut system, and we go out in the field and we measure buildings. Exterior information, we get interior information. We classify your residents, and I'm not gonna, A, B, C, or D. A's are really good quality homes, workmanship, and materials, all the way down to E, which is subclass. That's the back of our PRC. But the information we pick up is your foundation, exterior walls, roof type, roof material, flooring, interior finish, electricity, plumbing, number of bathrooms, type of heating, fireplace, any appendages onto your house, garage, basement, second floor, decks, porches, all that gets picked up. Now, if the property owner isn't home, we leave a door hanger. If we can't talk to the property owner or the door hanger doesn't get sent back, the only thing we can do is guess at your interior information. So I encourage everybody at some point, come on in, let's check your information and let's be sure it's right. It could be to your advantage, but it could be to your disadvantage also. But at least we have the information right. And first week in June, I'm required by statutes to send an impact notice. And this impact notice will have your old value and your new value. This is where you need to open these right away. You don't throw them up on the shelf thinking you'll look at them later, wait till tax time. You wait till tax time, you're too late, can't do nothing for you. So you need to open up these impact notices right away. You need to look at that value. And if in your good judgment, you don't really feel it's worth the value that I have on it, come in, call, let's talk about it. Nothing's written in stone, but I have 3 weeks to change values. That's from the time these go out, that first week in June, till July 1st. If you come, like I say, if you wait till tax time, you're too late. There's nothing I can do for you. Now, and then of course you need to bring in any information you have that supports your way of thinking also. So I send out the impact notice. Now, if I can't satisfy you, then you can take it to the Board of Equalization, which is the 3 commissioners, county surveyor, which we don't have one, and 2 citizens with a background knowledge in real estate. I'm in the Board of Equalization, but I don't have a vote. But I'm in there to defend my value, and it's nothing personal. I've got to do my job, so I got to defend my value, as well as you will have to do the same thing if you go to the Board of Equalization. If the board can't satisfy you, then you go to the State Tax Commission, which has to be done by September 30th. About the board. And this is information, how to get a hold of the State Tax Commission, how to get a hold of me. You got to remember, I deal in value. I do not deal in tax dollars. So that's what you have to dispute. And one other thing, we have a Missouri property tax credit. So if you know a senior citizen or somebody that's 100% disabled, they can get their taxes back, at least most of it, up to $1,100 on a couple. Whether you rent, whether you own, it doesn't matter. You can still get some of your taxes back from the government. So if you know anybody that would be interested in filling, now there is a limit on the dollar amount. Anybody that you know of that might qualify, please get with me. I'll give you one of these sheets. This is my cohort here. He's my field tech, Frank Eastman, and he's going to say a few words.
Yeah, I've been with the county 3 years now as a field tech. In that 3 years, the first year I was here, I discovered we had a lot of buildings in the county that had not been appraised and assessed, and a lot of them were built 2008, 2009, 2010, and had not been picked up. So the first year I was here, I picked up a lot of buildings. Then when Christy came in, soon on I realized that our values in our system were not right. And part of that problem is that when she talked about the Honeycut system, that is an automated appraisal system. And it has a base cost in there. And when I go out, all I really do is gather the data. I do not make a judgment call on the appraisal part of it. I just gather the data, we come back and put it into the system. The system, as far as we can tell, the base cost has not been changed in the system since '98. So even if I go out and look at a new home and put it in the system, it's going to come up with a '98 value, not a current value. That's why these studies are so important, because what we're trying to determine is what is the current construction cost per square foot in Cooper County. And like she says, a lot of people don't want to share that information. You know, contractor will tell you, well, it only costs about $50. You know, we know better than that. But that's why the studies are so important. And Christy has really made an effort to send these letters out to the contractors if we can, or to the new homeowner or the person that had it built. And sales letters are another big part of it. Trying to determine what the fair market value is in the different areas in the county. So we know Blackwater is not going to be the same as in Boonville. So that's part of the problem, is the cost system is not correct. The other part of it is land values had never been looked at from day one, I guess. Original home sites were put in at about $1,200 value. Over the years, somebody built a house next door and they put in a $5,400 home site value, and a few years later somebody built a home site and it went in at $7,600, and then somebody in the last few years built a new home site and it went in at $25,000. So sometimes within a quarter of a mile you had a home site at $1,200 and you had a home site at $2,500, and then varying values in between. So part of the job this year is to look at those land values and try to determine, okay, what is fair market value on a home site, and then equalize the value on those home sites in that area. And of course, a home site in Bunston is not going to be the same value as a home site in Boonville. And we've been trying to look at sales studies to determine what is a fair market value on a home site in those different areas. And there again, it goes back to these studies. If you don't have the data to look at, it makes it hard to determine those values. And like Christy said, we may have to go further out sometimes, and we did an apartment building here a while back, and in order to come up with a fair market value, that's just what we had to do. We had to go to Springfield and St. Louis and Kansas City before we could even find an apartment building similar to that one that had sold recently to determine what the market value was. And so I'd encourage anyone, if you know anyone, if you bought or sold a house or you build a new home, please share that data, because we really need it if we're going to have an accurate assessment within the county or even within the city. I've just finished the city up today as far as land values within the city, and even within the city it was the same way. The values varied all over the place, from subdivision to subdivision, and even within the old town of Boonville, property values were all over the place, just on the land. Not saying anything about the buildings, because that's another issue, but so we're making an effort to try to get it there, but it's going to take a few years to do so. But I think we've made some progress this year. So,
Any questions? Okay, thank you for letting me give my spew. I'm trying to get the word out there, and appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Frank. Good to see you, Christy. Thank you. Approval of the minutes of March 4th council meeting. Any changes or corrections? And they shall stand as read or as submitted. Thank you. Consent items, none. Presentation of accounts and claims on page 9.
Ordinance appropriating money. Be it ordained by the council of the city of Boonville as follows. Section 1, for the purpose of paying salaries and various accounts against the city of Boonville, which has been allowed by the council at the regular meeting thereof on March 18th, 2019, the sum of $465,080.37. General fund, $254,728.76. Sanitation, $21,293.36. CIP tax, $8,324.92. Waterworks, $81,502.26. Capital projects, $26,180.48. Wastewater, $49,759.15. Tourism, $7,217.10. Gaming, $6,433.90. Parks and Water, $9,640.44. Section 2. The accountant is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on the respective city bank accounts in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed as above, amounting to $465,080.37, being the total amount of money above appropriated. Section 3. This ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage. First reading on March 18th, 2019. Read for the second time this 18th day of March 2019, since a copy was made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading, title only.
Ordinance appropriating money.
Mayor, I'll make a motion this be approved.
Thanks, Morris. There's a second. Thanks, Brent. Any comments? Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Bozarth,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Dorman,
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
Unfinished business. Item A, second reading of bill number
Mayor,
20.
could I have just a second before we get into unfinished business?
I guess.
Okay. Just a couple of things. I know we're getting ready to vote on the waste collection and all this, but there was an article in the paper on March the 15th. I take exception to the headline. Another year, another rate increase for Boonville services. And then the article goes on to try to explain the headline. I think a much better headline would be the city works hard to hold down service costs. And we're voting on a lot of things tonight, but, the article points out 2.8% on this, and there's different things. Everybody knows that we have cost increase, health insurance, retirement programs, chemicals, a lot of things that go in to these different services. And two of the services are contracted out, being sanitation and water. But the city works hard to hold down the cost. And you can see 2.8%, but what that really amounts to in dollars and cents, if you use between 1,000 up to 4,000 gallons of water, your bill will go up $2.31 a month. So, I just want to point that out, that they do a lot of work on this, and then a headline like that, I just don't appreciate, because there's a lot of work that goes into it. And that's all I want to say on that.
Thank you, Brent. Appreciate it. Item A, second reading of bill number 2019-005, amending solid waste collection fees.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, amending certain parts of Chapter 21, Article 5, Section 21-181, relating to solid waste collection fees, providing an effective date therefore, and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Thank you, Whitney. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Bozarth,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Dorman,
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
Item B, second reading of bill number 2019-006, changing rates to be paid for water and water services.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, amending the Code of General Ordinances, Section 21-157A4C, changing rates to be charged for water and water services, providing an effective date therefore, and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion. Approve
Thank
it.
you, Morris. Second. Susan? Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Bozarth,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Dorman,
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
Item C, second reading of bill number 2019-007, changing rates to be paid for wastewater services.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, amending the Code of General Ordinances, Section 21-148D3, changing rates to be charged for wastewater service, providing an effective date therefore, and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Make a
there a
motion to be
motion?
approved.
Thank you, Morris, second. Brent, thank you. Any comments, questions? Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Bozarth,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Dorman,
Yes.
Stock,
Yes. Item D, second reading of bill number 2019-008, approving the budget for fiscal year 2019-2020.
Please note that included in your council packet, you have Exhibit A. An ordinance accepting and approving the budget for the city of Boonville, Missouri for the period of April 1st, 2019 through March 31st, 2020.
Is there a motion,
Make
Morris?
a motion to be approved.
Thank you. Whitney, second. Any comments or questions?
Only
Morris?
comment is that, I appreciate the work Earl and all the department heads has done to hold this budget down as close as they could. They've done a good job.
Well said. Well said, Morris. Thank you. Anybody else? Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Bozarth,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Dorman,
Yes.
Stock.
Yes. All four items pass. New business. Item A, first reading of bill number 2019-009, amending the schedule of administrative fees.
An ordinance of the city of Boonville, Missouri, adopting a new schedule of administrative fees, Appendix G in the Code of General Ordinances, providing an effective date therefore, and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Item B, first reading of bill number 2019-010, amending ordinances to set forth policy prohibiting conflicts of interest.
An ordinance of the city of Boonville, Missouri, amending section 2-73 of the Code of General Ordinances to set forth the city's policy prohibiting conflicts of interest.
Item C, first and second reading of bill number 2019-011, amending the budget for fiscal year 2018-2019.
An ordinance of the city of Boonville, Missouri, amending the budget for the period April 1st, 2018 through March 31st, 2019, be it ordained by the city council of the city of Boonville, Missouri as follows. Section 1. The budget for the city of Boonville for the year beginning April 1st, 2018 and ending March 31st, 2019 is hereby amended as set forth on Exhibit A attached hereto and made a part hereof. Section 2. The various expense and revenue allowances unaffected by this budget amendment shall remain in effect. Section 3. All ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. First and second reading, March 18th, 2019, read for the first and second time and passed this 18th day, March 2019. After a copy of this ordinance has been made available for public inspection prior to its first and second reading.
Questions?
No. Make a motion to be approved.
Wait.
Oh, second reading,
Title
title only.
An ordinance of the city of Boonville, Missouri, amending the budget for the period April 1st, 2018 through March 31st, 2019.
Make a motion to be approved.
Second? Susan? Thank you. Any comments or questions? Morris,
I'd
go
just
ahead.
like to point out that this budget changes is for the fire truck and animal shelter. Two good projects that the people of Boonville has wanted for a long time.
Right. Anybody else? Okay, there's another clarification that I'll give so that you guys have heard this before. When we clarify or when we motion amending the budget in the current year, which is what this budget is, this is this current year's budget, we have to amend it to what we actually did, so that it's accurate going forward, and that's what this amendment is. Any other comments? We all knew that, but some folks out there didn't. So now you know. Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Bozarth,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Dorman,
Yes.
Stock.
Yes. Okay, that passes. Thank you. Reports of standing committees. IDA. Steve, you got some work to do there, dude.
Basically, they've been working to reorganize economic development and working with the county to put that together. And on the MFA side, they're basically looking at dissolving the MFA.
Any questions to Steve? Okay. Item B, MFA, Municipal Facilities Authority. Steve?
They're basically looking at dissolving MFA as they put this group together with the county for economic development.
Okay, questions? Item C, Brent, Airport Advisory Board.
Well, I wasn't notified of a meeting, so I really can't tell you much about it. I wasn't there.
If I read this correctly, we didn't have one. Page 28.
Okay. Oh, it's canceled, all right. That's why I wasn't there. That's good.
All right. Item D, Historic Preservation Advisory Commission. Susan?
That was canceled due to a lack of agenda.
Item E, P and Z, Planning and Zoning. Whitney?
Canceled due to lack of agenda.
Okay. Reports of city officials, city administrator.
I don't have anything this evening.
Mayor. Page 24. If you take, if you didn't read anything else in the packet, this was a great letter. Sam did a great job with it, but what it tells us is how good CMMG is doing. This is good stuff, to see an employer here in town be able to take care of business the way they do. City clerk. Well, we want to do that. Thank you for the reminder. We need a little, or a motion to affirm an appointment to the local agency funding committee. Tawny Brown, Morris has asked us to affirm that. Morris, any comments or thoughts?
And she represents the city, has always did that, and I think she'll be a great asset to this committee.
Okay. Some of us know Tawny, and we would agree with you. Can I have a motion, Morris?
I'll make a motion she be added.
Okay. Mike is the second. Any comments or questions?
If I could, Nancy is one that we're replacing on that committee. She recently got married and is relocating and possibility coming back to Boonville. So that's the reason that we need to replace her.
Okay. Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Bozar,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Dorman,
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
As always, I would sometimes be lost without our city clerk. And it's time for her comments.
I don't have anything.
Aha, okay, good. Any miscellaneous? Morris?
Kate, would you tell us about the new charging stations out to Walmart? Cause we've been, I think we was told about a year ago that they was coming to Boonville and
Yeah, those are Walmart charging stations, so if you remember, maybe even 2 or 3 years ago, Ameren had asked us if we would be amenable to doing charging stations down at the depot or in the tourism hub at the museum. And when we did some of our repairs, we went ahead and put the conduit in at the warehouse to allow for the charging stations, but then Ameren had a hard time getting it through Public Service Commission. So sometime between that process and today, Walmart decided that they were gonna do their own charging stations, and that came through. Steve approved those plans probably, I would say, 6 or 8 months ago. So, those are Walmart's, and Ameren, if you followed, did actually recently get their plans approved through the PSC. And I wrote a note to Holly to say that we were still ready and interested down at the warehouse, so we might have a few more down there.
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is there a charge? To get charged?
I can't remember.
Well, it is Walmart, and they are the largest retailer in the world, so, I mean, I don't know for a fact.
I can't-
I'll make an assumption here, I'll leave.
Yeah, I kind of.
Either that or, but then would we charge for them down in Depot?
So because they're not ours, there actually would be Ameren's. There would be some charge at the time that we talked about it, and the idea was that Ameren would try to recoup some of the cost of the infrastructure of the charging stations over time. And I think it was a fairly reasonable, like $5 seems to stick in my head for a charge, but I don't know. I'm not real hip on what it costs to charge a car right now.
Yeah, part of the problem with charging is the service you provide. If you're willing to, if the equipment we provide is a slow charge, and you're willing to leave your car plugged in there for an hour or two, the cost of the equipment is much less, so the need to recover cost is less. But if you want a rapid charge or a combination of them, then that's the cost of the equipment goes up considerably, and you can see that, or you can imagine that in Walmart's installation, and that's where you're going to be looking for money to recover the cost of the equipment. I think Kate's right. The amount of electricity actually going into the battery isn't going to break anybody's bank. It's the equipment and what you expect out of the equipment.
But if anyone has an electric car, I'll take it out to Walmart and try it for you.
But Walmart, I could see them just letting you charge it there because you're gonna walk in
Because you're gonna walk in and buy
spend
groceries,
an
yeah.
hour.
It might be it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll have to drive out and look at it. I'll
Yeah.
check and see if there's a card reader or
I'll
something.
ask Joe,
Yeah.
one of my employees has it.
We've researched that with KCP&L, and KCP&L had done car charging stations in a number of shopping centers in their service area, and they actually have a problem, and some of the jurisdictions have done it much like handicap. There are people hogging or taking up parking spaces in front of the car charger, so there's a fossil fueler pulls into the car charging station because all the rest of the parking lot is full. I don't see that as a problem for us, but I suppose on Christmas shopping it could be a problem for Walmart, but that's something we'll just deal with later on.
They can go there.
Anything else? Is there a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Steve. You got in there quick. Who gets the
That's the only
second?
time he speaks up.
Thanks, y'all. We are adjourned.